What's up, I'm Troubleshoot. Destiny Rising is a brand new installment in the Destiny series, however it's mobile only. In this video, I'll show you how to actually download it and play it on PC with the best performance possible. If you head across to Destiny Rising's webpage, you'll find a download or play on PC button right over here. This uses the MuMu emulator, which is an Android emulator that creates an Android-like environment on your system so the game can actually run as it would on a phone, just with keyboard and mouse inputs instead of touchscreen. Now, while MuMuPlayer is developed by the same developers behind Destiny Rising, there are of course other options that should work pretty well, if not flawlessly. In the description down below you'll find links to BlueStacks as well as Nox, which are two other fantastic Android emulators if you don't want to download MuMu emulator. In the description down below you'll find a link to this page here. To get the MuMu emulator to play it on PC, just click this link here or use the link in the description down below. When you choose to download it from this link, you'll be given an exe file, which is the MuMuPlayer installer. Once you open it up, you can customize the installation before you click install now if you'd like to move it elsewhere, and as you can see it's placing it in C program files NetEase. I'll install it here as that's fine, and that'll actually start downloading MuMu emulator, and shortly after it'll pre-install Destiny Rising as well. Once the download finishes, the Nox emulator is installed, and then shortly after it opens up like this. I'll click accept here, then allow if prompted to allow network access for MuMu emulator, and finally the emulator actually starts up. Once it does so, I'm pretty sure the download for Destiny Rising should begin shortly. And there we have it. Now we actually get to the game itself, which should update as soon as it opens. Now by default it uses keyboard and mouse, but in the top right up here you can change it to gamepad as well if you'd like to use a controller. Basically either of these emulates touchscreen inputs and things like that to make the experience as seamless as possible, though it won't always be perfect. You can adjust system volume up here, and as well using the three dots you can access your Android navigation menu, window management, a bunch of other useful tools, all the way down to device settings where we can customize the emulated device underneath. If we open up device settings while our download is completing in the background, for which the game's around 7.5 gig, inside of here we can customize performance for our system, change the number of CPU cores up to 8, change the amount of RAM based on what system RAM we have available, GPU strategy, and things like that. To get the best performance out of this for Destiny Rising, I'd recommend using Vulkan, which should give you slightly better performance, though DirectX may give you better compatibility and performance on certain systems. Vulkan should be the best. Performance settings, change this to custom, and raise the number of CPU cores pretty much as high as possible, utilizing as many as your system has available. That being said, check your task manager using Ctrl Shift and Escape, or right-clicking the start bar and choosing Task Manager, where on the Performance tab just over here, you can see the number of CPUs that you have. In my system, I have an Intel i9-14900HX, and it has all the way up to 32 threads, which we can utilize for the best performance. If you'd like it to get extra fancy and maybe squeeze a tiny bit more performance out of it, you can Google your processor's name, open up Intel or AMD's website, assuming you have one of those, scroll down and look to see how many performance cores and efficiency cores you have. I have 24 physical cores, 32 total threads. Half of the threads are efficiency cores over here, which only have one thread per core, and we have 8 performance cores with 2 threads each, meaning we have 16 performance threads. Inside of MuMu emulator, I would therefore choose 16 here, giving access to pretty much only the performance cores on our system, raising the performance for anything that runs inside of it, leaving efficiency cores for Windows, background processes like Discord, and things like that. Then the amount of RAM that you can give it is usually around 6 or so for the best performance, but you can actually give it much more, even if it might not be used, if you once again check your task manager using Ctrl Shift and Escape on the Performance tab, seeing how much memory you have, and then deciding how much to give the game. Obviously, more is usually better, but beyond 6 gigs you will have diminishing returns. If you have a ton of system RAM available, as in currently not in use, you could give it a lot of that and forget about it. If you've only got, say, 12 gigs on your system, of which 8 is free, 3, I'd recommend giving the game probably 6 or so, leaving 2 for the rest of your system, Discord, etc. If you're really running low with 8 gigs, 4 of it's being used by Windows, you can only really choose 4 here, and that's that. Then the GPU strategy. Auto-tuning is the best option here, and then forced use of discrete graphics card. I definitely recommend having this turned on. If you're on a laptop with an integrated GPU and a dedicated GPU, this is especially important, so it uses the right graphics card for much better performance. Finally, at the very bottom, smart memory optimization, a relatively new option. You can enable this for less RAM usage while you're playing games and things like that, but if it impacts performance, giving you stuttering, freezes, and weird things like that, make sure to turn this off. For me, I'll turn this on. Under the display tab over here, you can leave it at whatever your display's resolution is, for example, 2K or 4K, but if you set it down to 1080p, you should see a big improvement in performance with hopefully minimal loss to quality. FPS settings, you can cap your FPS here, especially important if you're on a handheld or mobile device. If you're plugged in, you can usually crank this all the way up and enjoy some extra frame headroom if your PC's actually making that many. You can enable the FPS counter right over here, so you can see what performance you're actually getting. VSync I'd recommend leaving off unless you're getting screen tearing. Then screen settings, here we can adjust the brightness and apply a color filter to it. Common is fine here. Window position and style, you can remember the last position if you play in windowed, but that's fine. Window rotation, multi-tab mode, and MuMuCursor are all fine to leave on. On the sound tab over here, you can auto-mute when it's muted, and if you wish, disable system sound from Android background processes and things like that. This should slightly reduce CPU usage. However, the Android volume controls, which we saw with the button up here, will no longer work. For me, that's fine. I'll turn this on for a slight boost in performance. Microphone and speaker are configurable here. Disk, you can clean up the disk once your installation is finished, though most of the time there's not too much that you need to clear. Under the network tab, you can change how the network driver works. For the most part, it'll just use whatever network connection you're connected to right now, but you can install a driver here, enable bridge mode, and change how the Android device appears on your network. Model, you can adjust how your emulated Android device appears. By default, it chooses an Asus ROG Phone 9, but you can leave this at whatever you want really. Down here is just some extra information about it. Finally, GPU model. For the most part, you won't need to worry about this, but you can choose different model presets here just in case the games auto-optimize to different physical hardware. Usually I'd choose high here if you have a really powerful graphics card in your system. This should tell the game that, hey, you can actually crank up the graphics settings and you can enjoy a couple more FPS with a better looking game, which is why I would change this here. If you're trying to emulate the game on a lower powered system, it's probably the best to set this down to low, so again, games can auto-optimize for whatever hardware you have available. Shortcuts, you can customize how the system works, such as navigation, window management, and things like that. The boss key over here, Alt Q by default, will hide the emulator if you're wondering what that was. Finally, other, you can keep apps alive in the background when you minimize them. You can enable root if you like to customize Android system settings that you wouldn't otherwise, ADB debug, etc. Associate APK files when it's turned on means that whenever you download an APK file off the internet, you can double click it and it should open inside of this emulator. That's it. Device diagnostics, you can read a bit about the emulated device here, but for now at least we've customized everything we need to. As the game is still downloading and we change some options, I'll leave this as later, just so it doesn't restart right now, and you can see we're currently getting a solid 60 while we're downloading, but we'll wait until we're actually in the game, which could take some time to get to. Now, just a quick note, if you'd like extra performance from the emulator or just games in general on your system, I'd highly recommend checking the description down below where you'll find a Windows 10, 11, and related optimization guides to get even more out of your system. If you'd like to get frame generation working or something like that, I'd highly recommend checking out my LSFG or lossless scaling guide, where you can point it to this emulator and generate frames all the way up to 240, 360, or whatever your monitor is actually displaying. For most systems, I wouldn't recommend frame generation, as that may add extra input latency, and if you're getting more than enough FPS, it's fine anyways. There we go. Now you can register or sign in, for which I'll just choose guest for now. Agree, choose a server to play on, EU is fine, and click anywhere to start. Once you do so, we're dropped onto the main menu. Now to enter full screen mode, you can click the 3 dots in the top right, followed by window management, full screen mode, or you can hit F11 to toggle at any time. There you go. Customizing our character, we're dropped into the actual game, mouse input is working, as well as keyboard input as well. That's it. From here you can enjoy the game with some hopefully good performance. Now just keep in mind we didn't actually restart the emulator, so for now, I'll quit out of this, so I'll exit it up here. Then we'll restart the device in the bottom right. It starts up once more. In the future, when you'd like to start up the game once more, you'll need to search your start menu for MuMuPlayer or use any desktop icons that were placed there. When you do so, the Android device starts up. You can open up Destiny Rising and play your game as you'd hope. If you see MuMuPlayer start up like this, just hit the play button next to your Android device here, and it should boot up as usual. And there you have it. We can now enjoy the game, hopefully with some better FPS. I think I'm stuck at a solid 60 here because if I pause audio and graphics inside of here, we can customize our rendering quality, which I'll crank it all the way up to 120. HD textures are fine, ultra quality, etc. Sounds pretty good. Unpausing, yeah, there we go. We're getting a solid 120, which is really good. The keyboard and mouse input is really snappy. There's nothing too wrong about this. It feels like a native PC game, even if it's a mobile game. There's some nice keyboard inputs and things like that mentioned, like caps lock to click that on the side, etc. So there shouldn't be any issues with native input that you might see on other games emulated inside of here that aren't necessarily designed to be. But yeah, anyways, that's really that. From here, you can enjoy this game and enjoy some especially good performance as it's being played on a solid big system rather than a mobile phone. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Mine's been Troubleshoot. Again, you'll find links to everything you need to know down below, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.